Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome back to a new LEGO Star Wars review. Today we are going to be taking a look at the LEGO Star Wars Hoth ATST. The contents in the set are of course the Hoth ATST, a probe droid, and 3 minifigures, and I bought it for its retail suggested price of $50 USD. If you guys do enjoy the video, please leave a like on it, it'll make my day, and if you like content in general, do subscribe because that'll make my day even more. The first minifigure is an ATST driver, and he is exclusive to the set, which is always nice to see. Starting off with the legs, they are in a light gray molded format, but then it transitions up to a white at the waist, so it continues on to the torso, which is really nice. And then moving up to the torso, you do have a belt detail with some pockets there, which is also really nice to see, with his jacket, which is also in the white color format, and he does have gloves, which are in the darker gray. The back printing is not too impressive, it's just a couple of wrinkles and whatnot. And then moving on to the head print, he does have that kind of chin strap, and he does have a smirk on his face. And then moving up to the helmet, I just love this helmet mold. There's something about it. It's not like an impressive mold or anything. It just looks super clean to me. And then he does get that second face, which is more kind of like an angry face. Overall, a really solid minifigure. The second minifigure in this set is also exclusive, which is, again, really nice to see. We'll get this big, hunky kind of bow blaster out of the way. It is a stud shooter, just for your information, so just press that down, and then it releases the stud to shoot. But now on to the Chewbacca itself. This is one of my favorite Chewbaccas we have ever gotten, mainly because of all of the snow detailing around his torso. First, start off with the legs, of course. We do have snow printing on his feet. Really cool detail. And we also have some fur over here with some snow on it. And then, moving up to the torso, you do have that chain link for, I believe, like, I don't know, ammo, storage, or something. I'm not really sure on that, but his torso also does have some snow stubbling, which is really nice to see. And then on the back, you just do have that continuous, link around his torso. And on the back, more of the snow. And then for the face, my Chewbacca seems to be looking off to the right. This is something that LEGO really just gets wrong most of the time, is their minifigures with the eyes and whatnot. Just on the really close details, it really just gets off and misprinted. But overall, I think this is like one of the best Chewbaccas we have ever gotten, just because of the snow detailing and whatnot. So I really think this is a solid minifigure. And lastly, we have the Hoth Rebel Trooper. I'm not exactly sure if this minifigure is exclusive, but if it was, it's not that interesting of a minifigure anyway. It's just your normal Hoth Rebel Trooper, to be honest. There's no printing on the legs, which is unfortunate. I really hope they would fix that. It's kind of an underwhelming minifigure, to be honest, but I think this was necessary since this is based on a Hoth set. The first aspect I want to take a look at with this Hoth ATST is just the size of this whole set. So here we have the driver. And as you can see, this is just a really big model. Like, that is just his foot there. And it's just overall a really tall model. So, without further ado, with scale done out of the way, now we can look at the feet starting first. This is honestly like a really, like, brick-built kind of foot. Like, it's not that simple. And then you also do have this if you want to do something with that. You do have the legs here, which some people might complain about how they're too thin or stuff like that, but that is completely wrong. The legs are supposed to be this thin. A lot of people are just used to the original ATST, and they don't realize that the Hoth ATST is a lot different than the original ATST, so I think that is just what people get confused with a lot of the times, and so this set gets a lot of flack, which I really think is unneeded. The legs, of course, are very poorly detailed because you have the blue Technic pins here and there, and you have just the ugly Technic stuff. I really do like this detail, though. And the legs only have one joint of rotation, and that's that, so you can get some limited amount of poses, but just be aware that when you try and do poses with this, it is, like, extremely imbalanced to the point where it will fall if you try and do any poses with it, so I wouldn't really recommend it, but these can, like, turn upwards to more than 90 degrees, which is a really cool detail. Moving up here, though, we do have the hip joints right here, which can also be rotated, I believe. But those are the only 2 points of rotation, and those are, like, very small kind of points, so you're not going to get much out of it. And then on the back, you do have this knob here, which can actually rotate the head. On the previous ATST Raider, it was actually kind of like a rigidity joint, or circle turntable, so it would, like, ridge it and stuff like that. But this one, it can just rotate freely without any ridges, and so it's a very smooth kind of rotation. And then moving over, you do have this one grill piece, which is a nice detail. You do have some studs right here with holes to represent maybe some ventilation or whatnot. And then on the front here, you do have some nice detailing of like wiring and some other greebling nice details there. And then on the back, this is one of my favorite details actually. It may not seem like much, but it does look really cool. These two parts are printed, which is also really nice to see. I believe there are no stickers in the set to my knowledge, and they do have these two knobs at the back as well to fire off your spring-loaded shooters that are featured right on the front of the ATST there. These can fire just by simply pressing on them, and they can fire off very simply, of course. Now moving on to the head, which is also another thing that people complain about a lot. We'll get into those pinpoints in a little bit, but overall, the cannon on the front here rotates up and down, which is really nice, and you also do get this little piece right here that keeps this from separating and falling apart easily. So this 1x2 modified plate really comes in handy to keep this a little more sturdy than if it was without it. Now on the side of the ATST, you do have some cannons here. Really nice detailing with a kind of sword piece right here and two different pole pieces right there. And then on the other side, I'm not exactly sure what this is. It might be like a laser, or not a laser thing, but like a sensor radar type of thing, because I know for a fact that this isn't a cannon, but I don't actually know what it is. Now moving on to the front, which a lot of people complain about, is the eyes. Now, we're all used to seeing the eyes on a normal ATST being see-through, so you can actually see into the ATST. On the Hoth ATST, however, that is not present, so this is actually accurate. So, if you're wondering, this is accurate, so please don't be dissing on my boy here. Then when we get to the top, we do have a hatch, and this can open and close very simply. It's gonna be, like, extremely hard to get a minifigure to, like, poke their head out of here, but that is just how it is with an ATST like this. So now with some better lighting, we can see the interior kinda well. Over here, we do have two clips. One maybe for like a blaster, one for his binoculars. I also forgot to mention, the ATST driver right here does come with a white pair of binoculars. There's a seat for your driver here, and a nice little control console, which is really cool. But you can easily sit him in there, close this up, and there you go. There's your ATST, fully piloted, and if you open up this hatch, you can see him in there. It still is kind of ugly, but, you know, got some Technic in there, you got some dark tan pieces which really don't belong, and you have some dark red as well. Like, I don't really know what's going on, but, you know, that's the interior. If you hate it, you hate it. If you like it, you like it. But yeah, that is a whole overview of the whole ATST. So now on to my personal opinion about this set. Honestly, I think the minifigure selection is okay. I think, personally, what would have benefited from the set is just a normal snowtrooper, because 3 minifigures isn't a lot, especially asking for the retail price of $50 US. It just seems like a lot to only get 3 minifigures, but I really do think the Probe Droid is a pretty nice inclusion of the set, especially in the dark gray format. Now onto the actual big build of the set, the ATST. I'm pretty sure this is actually taller than the ATST Raider. I think this set is just very underrated in my opinion, because a lot of people are like, oh, the legs are inaccurate, they're too thin, or no, the eyes are inaccurate because you can't actually see through it. LEGO did it right, because this set actually is accurate. The legs are supposed to be this thin. You're not supposed to see through the eyes. This is a very accurate set, and I just think a lot of people don't really realize that, and this is what shies them away from buying the set. But the $50 price tag, I think, is a little too much. I would like to see it at like $40 to the $45 range. I honestly think this is just kind of a skinned, like a different skin kind of ATST, because you have the same play features. It's basically the same thing, just with a different shell on it. So that kind of shies me away from saying that this is better than the ATST Raider because of the price point. So that is basically my opinion on this set. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, please leave a like, and please subscribe. Peace out. Peace out.